All right, so we are starting the third session here um, of going of our "You're Not Done Yet" book launch. Uh, Thank you to everybody that's been staying on with us. It has been truly amazing to see the support we've had, and we're having such a good time. It's amazing. We started this at 1 o'clock, and we are already at 3. We've already done 2 hours of book launches. So if you haven't been joining us since the beginning, I know it's a nice day. You've probably been outside having a great time. Uh, but the way we've been doing this is we've been starting on the hour live. We go about 20, 30 minutes on each session, and then we take a break and we come back at the next hour. So the whole idea today is we're going from 1 until 5 o'clock. So we've been on at 1, we've been on at 2, we're here at 3. We're going to be live again at 4. And the one at 4, we're probably going to go almost all the way to 5 o'clock because we got tons of stuff to do. We've given away a couple crazy things already. We gave away a double book pack. Chris Harris was the one that won that in our first hour. We're about to do another live draw. We're going to be doing it a little bit later here in a few minutes, but we're just kind of getting things on. So just we're having a lot of fun. I gotta say, this is my first virtual live book launch. This is my 5th book that I've put out. It's the first time I've ever done a virtual book launch. All the other ones were live. The last Driven to Drive, which I did a few years ago, I actually traveled around Ontario going to different schools and doing live book launches. So to do a virtual one, I'm kind of getting used to this and figuring out how it goes. We've tried to make it fun. We've had some great things going on in the first hour. Like in the first hour, we had an interview. Carmen interviewed myself, my wife Carmen. She interviewed myself, to see about the book. We were talking a little bit about the book. Paul Copcutt was on. He was talking about, Paul wrote the foreword for the book, and he was on and just did a little bit of an interview about what he's doing, and it was absolutely amazing. We've been talking about all kinds of people. We were talking about whether they don't believe what they tell you, which we talked about. Young Marina, who's an illustrator, who is doing amazing things and is already on that career path at the young age of 14. We were talking about OVT guitars, John and Carson, 2 guys that actually did a high school project, and it went so well that they won $500 for it and created a business for it from the Acton business people where they live. So, telling people, and then we talked also about Jeffrey Wayne Ford, who's, I'm going to say Jeffrey's my age, he's a bit older, but don't tell Jeffrey. Anyway, Jeffrey is actually a truck driver, and I had him on my other podcast called the Lead Pedal Podcast, and he was telling me that he does acting, and he's been in some pretty big movies like The Walking Dead and The Last Dime, and he's just finished The Lead. He's won the awards, MEE award he won, and so there's a lot of things you can do, and he's still doing this driving a truck. So don't be afraid to get out there and do what you want. That's the whole idea of this book. Hey, Carlene, thank you very much for being on again. Carlene Bland has been absolutely amazing and on to help us. So what are we doing this hour? You're probably wondering, if you've been with us the whole time, you're going, Bruce, can't believe you're still talking. Anybody that knows me, yes, I am still talking, and you know that. We're going to do the draw a little bit later. So thanks for being on. But I first want to talk in this one about doing more than one thing. And we kind of touched on it in previous episodes here, but a lot of people say you can't do more than one thing. In fact, from a business perspective, one of the things they tell you is that you should focus on one thing so that you can stay focused and not get into different areas. Well, the problem with that is that sometimes limits you to the opportunities that come up. And I am one of these people who are famous for saying yes to things, and I'm not even sure where they'll end. Heck, I started this podcast, didn't know where it was going to go, but I thought I would try it. It was something I enjoyed, and here we are a few years down the road. And so this happens to a lot of people, and I just want to share with you some of the people I know that are doing amazing things and doing multiple things. And one of them is my friend Kelly Gannon. So I'll move Kelly over here so you can see him. So Kelly is a artist. He's a caricature artist. I met him in ISCA. ISCA is the International Society of Caricature Artists. It's a global group, kind of spearheaded in the U.S., but there's people from every country in it. Super talented people. I met Kelly there, and over the years, we've become fast friends. Now, Kelly, not only is he a caricature artist, he's an amazing musician. He's a drummer, plays in multiple bands, and he is also a singer, which I didn't know about. I just found that out, that he actually does some singing. He sings Michael Bublé style crooner stuff, which I thought was really cool. So Kelly is one of those people that I think is amazing. He does a number of things. He's very successful, and he's in the arts. Now, Kelly's out from Edmonton, Alberta, so he's out west, and we talk regularly, and he's just doing some amazing things, but he's been inspirational. So if you go back to the podcast episode with Kelly, look at Cashing In on Creativity, look under, I think he's under visual artist because he's in so many things, but just look for Kelly's name, type it in, and you can learn more about Kelly. He's been an amazing artist. But Kelly has been a real supporter of the show, and one of the people that put me in with Rich Redmond. So Kelly took a drum clinic. Here's how it happened. And I still remember the night that it happened. And I talk about this in the book, where Kelly actually, he sent me an email. And I was doing a gig. I was out at an event, and I got this message from Kelly. It's like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. And it's like, Bruce, call me back. And I'm a very slow typer. See these hands? It's called fat finger syndrome. This is how this works. And he said, call me back. And so I tried to email him back. He was so passionate and so excited that he kept answering me before I even answered him. And I finally and then he said, call me. And it's like, I'm thinking, man, did something happen? Like, what's going on with this guy? And he left messages with my wife, Carmen, as well. And so what I did is I called him back. And he says, Bruce, I have the perfect guest for your show. So Kelly had taken a drum clinic, and it's not that he needs lessons, but he's taking lessons from the guys who are at the top of their game. And he decided that the drummer he was taking classes with was the drummer for Rascal Flatts. So any of you that are in the country genre, Rascal Flatts, you would know that name. He took lessons with the drummer of that band in some clinic. And so when he phoned me, he said, Bruce, that drummer connected me with another drummer named Rich Redmond. And so he said, you have to have Rich Redmond on your show. I'll connect you. I didn't even know who Rich Redmond was. So Rich Redmond is the drummer for Jason Aldean. If you're in the country, you would know Jason Aldean's name. You'd probably know Rich Redmond as well. He's been the drummer for Jason for 20 years. And so Kelly said, I'm going to connect you. Kelly connected us the next day. Kelly connected us. And not only that, Rich was on my doing an interview with me 2 days later. Like some guests will not, it takes weeks to get them. And Rich was on there 2 days later. And so I just want to play for you that interview with Rich because it's really amazing. And I think something that you're really going to enjoy. So here's the interview. Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, we're at episode number 85, and we have a very special guest today. Today we are going to talk to drummer Rich Redmond. Now, if you don't know who Rich is, you may not be a country music fan, but if you are a country music fan, you're going to certainly know who Rich is. Rich is the drummer for the big stars. He's been playing the last 20 years with Jason Aldean. He's played with Garth Brooks. Almost everybody across the board. You name it. He's based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and is not only a drummer, but is a speaker and author and has his own podcast and is giving back to the community, does drum clinics, all kinds of stuff. Rich is just an amazing guy. We were connected through another drummer friend of mine, Kelly Gannon, who is out in Calgary, Alberta, and Kelly put us together. Rich and Kelly have a mutual friend, and that's how we got in touch. And Kelly sent him to me, and I was so happy to have him on the show. And we just hit it off. We both are a lot alike, and really enjoyed listening to Rich. So check out this episode, and we're going to be right back after this with Rich Redmond from Nashville, Tennessee. Stay tuned. Listen, I know what everybody's wanting to know because I'm probably wanting to know it too. You've played with some of the biggest bands. You're with Jason Aldean and Garth Brooks, and I can go on and on. If you go to your website, everyone will see all the names you've played with. Yeah. So what's it like to be with these big guys? Like, we all dream of that, right? But there's got to be a lot of demands as a professional in that space. So what's it like to be on the road with these guys? Is it what we see on TV?
It's it's amazing. It's like, tell everybody, it's like kind of like dispel the whole myth. I was like, hey man, I never get starstruck because I remember two things.
Yeah.
these people, they poop and they pay taxes.
That's right.
You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? And they have their all their own insecurities and weaknesses and concerns and trials and tribulations in life. But no, it's been really great. The Garth Brooks thing. I got to back him up at the
Yeah.
CRS convention here recently in Nashville. Both he and Jason were on stage, and I got to shake his hand. And how many times have someone played "Friends in Low Places," with a cover band or a wedding band or something? So my philosophy on getting to the big stage is if you treat every gig like you're playing with Garth Brooks or you're playing Madison Square Garden, you will eventually play with Garth Brooks or you
Right.
eventually will play um, Madison Square Garden. But no, and life gives you gifts. I mean, I've been playing with Jason Aldean for almost 20 years. We all finish each other's sentences. He's a very loyal person.
Yeah.
He's had the same band. We've recorded 8 records, 28 singles, 20 which have been number one songs. We played every late night show, every morning show, the Saturday Night Lives, the Grammys, seen the world together. And it's just an amazing thing. When you put all your effort into something and you never mail anything in and you're always playing and performing from the peak of your ability and from your heart, I think you can, write your ticket to success. And it's been just an amazing journey, just so fun.
Wow, wow. So when you play a song, if you decide to change up, like I mean, I'm assuming you have a bad day. You seem like a real person, like the rest of us. So I'm sure there's a time when you're at sound check or whatever, and even though you know what you're supposed to play, it doesn't come out right. I know it works for me, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
What happens? Do they like? How do you correct that as a professional? You've got to play it a certain way. The crowd, or does nobody notice? Maybe you can cover it up. I don't know. How does that
Well,
work?
I think everybody in our band and everybody in Nashville that operates at this level, whether they be a recording musician or a touring musician, is they're perfectionists, and there's definitely a standard and level of expectations, and we are really hard on each other, and we're accountable to each other, and that's how you can maintain that standard. But you try not to make mistakes. But sometimes there's just like maybe from jet lag or being overworked or just whatever reason, there's a disconnect between your mind and your body, and sometimes you'll blow something. And then I tell everybody, you just own that mistake, and no one will ever know. You just own it, or you do it twice. If you do it twice, it's a pattern.
Right, right, right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? But
Yeah.
it's. I wonder if it's the same thing as in the caricature world. It's like, have you ever done something where it was like, oh God, I'm not happy with this. Let me do it again,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you
Well, the
know,
trick is to not do it again. And like you say, right? If you do it twice, and because you're a professional speaker and so am I, that
yeah.
if you forget to tell somebody something, the crowd doesn't know you weren't you were going to tell them. Only
They
we
haven't
know. We go, oh, I forgot that line.
they
But the
haven't heard
crowd
your
doesn't
speech
know.
before.
It's the same thing when you're drawing a caricature event. They don't know that I didn't plan to make the nose like that.
Yeah,
I may not have planned to make it like that,
yeah,
but you're working with marker, and you learn to just go, okay, I made it like that. How can I kind of fix it so they don't know? I mean, I've if they're really upset, I'll redo it. But I've never had that. Most people are amazed to see you draw from nothing, blank piece of paper to come out and be able to draw their face. So
yeah.
they're always amazed at that it takes away from, oh, you didn't do the nostril right or something, and then I can always just say, hey, it's a caricature. It's not supposed to look like you if it's really bad, right?
Yeah, no, that whole thing fascinates me because it's almost like it's your interpretation or impression of not only the physical characteristics, but whatever energy or aura that person is like
Right.
putting off. You're getting a sense of that person. Are they wacky? Are they
Yeah.
a control freak? Or
Well, as a caricature artist, I don't want to make this about me, but as a caricature artist, it's like you are when you go on stage with the band. You're on, right? You're tired, you're fatigued, you didn't sleep well, whatever it is. When you're in front of 80,000 people or however many people you get in a stadium, they expect you to perform at a certain level. And I was watching one of your drum videos this morning, and man, I'm sure you don't have to play that hard, but you were playing really hard. Like you were sweating and you're
oh
really playing it out, and it looked good. And when I go to a concert and pay $80, $100, I expect to see that.
oh, you better
And it,
believe it. Yeah,
and it's the same thing when I do a wedding. If I'm drawing caricatures at a wedding, I may not feel like being there. There's many times I've had a nap in my car, and then I go into the wedding, and boom, I'm on. I'm joking with the fans and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what you have to do. That's part of
yeah.
being a professional, right?
Oh,
So
you got to be able to turn it on.
yeah. Were you with Jason during? I don't want to bring our the interview down too much, but were you Jason during the Las Vegas shoot?
Yes, I've done every tour, every television show. I've never missed a. We've done thousands of shows, and I've never missed a show. The only show I've ever missed has been maybe about a decade ago. My grandparents, it was like The Notebook. They died on the same day. My grandparents were madly in love for, they were married for over 60 years. And anyways, I sent Miranda Lambert's drummer in to sub for me, and I had to go, to their funeral. But I tell everybody, the entertainment business, especially the road, what we do is we miss a lot of stuff. It's not for the faint of heart. We have missed birthdays, graduations, births. We miss everything, and our family members just go, well, that's the toss up, because I saw Richie this morning on the Today Show. I'm going to watch him tonight on Tonight Show. So I guess he's not coming to my college graduation ceremony. You know what I mean? I guess he's not coming to our 40th anniversary party. So you do what you can. You send a lot of gift cards and flowers and spa packages and that kind of stuff. But no, I was in Vegas. I'll always be the drummer that was on stage during one of the worst days in American history. And the sunshine that came from that was that all 60 members of our organization are completely unharmed, and we are all strongly moving forward with our lives. And we took a few days to reflect and step back on things. And 4 days later, we were on Saturday Night Live. We went and did Saturday Night Live, and that was a very powerful moment. Very, I don't want to say fun, but it was fun. But I felt guilty about it being fun, because everybody wants to play Saturday Night Live. But it was a great healing moment for the country.
So we are back, and look who joined us. And by the way, we are doing this properly, because you can't have a party without a glass of wine. So, all right. So that was Rich Redmond. Big thank you to Kelly Gannon for connecting us. And Rich has got a book. So we are about to do another draw. So this is a draw. So anybody had to be commented,
yeah.
or they also could do the email, right?
That's right.
So this is the second draw or third draw? Second draw. Okay, so this draw is for a $25 gift certificate with Amazon, and it's also going to include Rich Redmond's book. So Rich Redmond, who you just saw on the podcast, has a book called Crash Course to Success. I have read Rich's book. It is amazing. And he is certainly somebody who is not afraid to do different things. If you went to richredmond.com, you would see all the stuff he does. He does drum clinics. He's a professional speaker. He's an actor. He's a musician. He helps young people start up businesses. He's got his own podcast, everything. So he's doing a ton of things. All right, are we ready to roll?
Yep.
Hey, big thank you, Carlene. Carlene, if you play like you're playing with Garth Brooks every time, you'll end up playing with Garth Brooks. Love that. It's true. It's true. Okay, so ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so Carmen's going to do her spinning thing. If you haven't seen this done, hold on. Let me put it on. Here so you can see. Okay, so just hold. Can you?
It's still spinning.
Is it?
Oh.
Who we got?
No, I don't.
It didn't work. Hold on. Just gotta try it again. Technology. Start. Okay, hold it up. You're not holding it up. It's spinning in here. So our winner is.
It's not working.
Come on.
How come it's not?
She's killing the podcast.
wait,
She's
wait.
killing. Okay, you ready?
Monique Bourgeois.
Okay, hold it up. Hold it up to that
sorry.
camera. Monique Bourgeois. If you could read that, it's Monique. Monique, congratulations. You have won a $25 gift certificate and a copy of Rich Redmond's book. What I say was Crash Course to Success.
Right.
So that is awesome. Thank you very much for doing that. So I have Monique's email.
Yeah.
We will send an email to Monique. So thanks very much for playing around. Okay, so I want to tell a story. If you want to know how you begin doing multiple things, you actually just need to be. You could call it the wrong place at the right time or the right time at the wrong place, whichever way you want to do it. So when I was a lot of you probably know that I'm also a speaker. I do a lot of workshops and seminars, that kind of thing. And I wasn't planning on doing that. And here's how I got into that. So when I went back to Gary Allen, I was at Gary Allen and I was just taking courses. I was just, we had just started our business. I was back there and I was taking up courses trying to refresh myself. And I started selling promotional products. And I was dealing with Gary Allen's staff. I was selling them their shirts. I had taken their logo, refreshed it, and was selling them their T-shirts. So once a month, I would go and display in their hallway. I would set up a table, have all the shirts. Teachers would come and order. Then I would deliver them the next month. And I'm standing in the hallway behind a table. And this lady comes through the front doors and says, "Have you seen the Army?" Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I hear "have you seen the Army," I either should be running or hiding. I shouldn't be standing there selling T-shirts. So what I found out is she was from a career center in Halton. And she was, the Army was supposed to come in and speak to her class. And they didn't show up. I don't know if they had tank problems or what, but they were late. And so she said, "Would you come in and talk about what you do?" At that point, I was just beginning my business. I wasn't even sure what I did, but I said, "Okay, I'll come in and talk." I have no idea what that is. So it was about 15 young people. They were all people who were looking to start businesses or looking to get back into the workforce. And this was a program through the unemployment people. And I just went in and told them what I did. I said, "I'm starting a business as an illustrator." They had me come out every month. After that, the Army never came back. They had me come out every single month. Even when they changed locations and moved to Milton, they would have me drive out to Milton. I had my son Kyle come out with me sometimes. And we would just go out and talk about what we do. And we had a very successful until they lost the funding, unfortunately, and that's how it stopped. But, that spawned my speaking career, which is still going to this day, which is also part of podcasts and stuff like that. So you never know what you're going to be. Don't be afraid to be too busy. If you do multiple things, don't let anyone tell you should focus on one thing. You do what you want to do. And that's what we're going to do. So, hey, Carlene says, "Lovely assistant." Yeah, you got that one right here. I got to put that one on for Carmen. Lovely assistant from Carlene. That's a good one. Thank you, Carlene. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the support, Carlene, that you're giving us. This is amazing. And, okay, so now, did anybody type in if you remember the last break, which was at like 2:30, the action step game, I said, did anyone type in the answer in the comments section for the action step? So there was an action step on page number 59. I'm going to look at 59 because I don't remember what it says. So the action step was, write down one thing you were told in childhood that you have found to be different to what you've experienced in your life. So what's something that someone told you in childhood and you found them to be wrong, like doing just one thing? I figured that out, right? So if you want to, it's just a game. It's not part of the draw or anything like that. But if you want to put that in the comments, go ahead. So we know what? We know who won? Monique Bourgeois?
Yeah.
Awesome, Monique. Woo! Cheers to Monique. Woo!
Cheers, Monique.
I'm drinking water now. How did I do that?
Against water.
So, that was our 3 o'clock. We have some amazing stuff coming up in the next hour. So we're going to take a break now, which is a bit earlier than we've been taking. But we are going to go, when we come back at 4, we are actually probably going to go almost all the way to 5 o'clock. We have that much content for the next hour after that. We've got about 3 or 4 interviews we're going to be showing you. We are going to be doing our big draw at the end of that for a Kindle Reader and some other stuff that's going in the Kindle Reader, right?
Yeah, an ebook and an ebook from one of the participants in there.
Do you think you want to do this a long time? Maybe we should change your name to Vanna.
No. Don't have long hair.
You don't need long hair. You can be the new Vanna.
No. Vanna's got long hair. Tall.
Then we'll have to get like letters for you to turn to,
I'm
which
not
we
good
probably
at
won't.
that.
We probably won't do. Anyway, okay, so we are going to take a break now. We are going to come back at 4 o'clock. Carlene, thank you so much. Cheers to Monique. Way to go. Yes, Monique won that one. So we'll put that up. Thank you very much, Carlene, for your support. Congratulations to Monique. We'll get in touch with her through email. And we'll be back at 4 o'clock. So have a great time, right?
Yep.
I don't know what Vanna's doing. She's gonna go drink wine, so you might not see her again. We'll see how that works. All right. So thanks everybody. We will talk to you later, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock. Not 5 o'clock. We're done. 4 o'clock. We'll see you at 4 o'clock. Bye for now.